In this episode, I will talk about a case in East Oakland involving two sections that was once together. The 6'5 Ville and the 6'9 Ville was once together. The areas are known for rappers like Project Papa, Yuckmouth, and Oakland legend Felix Mitchell. If you haven't heard of him, you need to look him up. The 6'5 and 6'9 Ville will separate. They have not been cool for a while, once being like family, now being rivals, and both losing members in this war. I'ma cover a case that was a very unfortunate event in this war. August 8th, 2011, Jerome Williams and Robert Hudson, both members of the 6'5 Ville, were sitting outside a store in their hood. A witness named Cynthia, who was sitting in her car, would see her car pull up and begin shooting around 10 shots. Both Jerome and Robert would be shot, but both would survive. In the mix of all this happening, a woman was walking up the street with her two kids. Unfortunately, her 3-year-old son was caught in the crossfire, and he would lose his life. Rest in peace to the young boy. Cynthia would give a description of the car and the man who was shooting from it. It was a nearby surveillance camera showing the car, and she'd identify it. Jerome Williams would testify and would say at the time, both 6'5 and 6'9 Ville had been at odds for around 15 years. He would say he didn't want to be labeled a snitch and didn't want to appear in court testifying on the 6'9 members. Jerome said he seen a car drive by and mug him. He said the driver was Willie Torrance. His name in the streets was Whoa or Little Will. He was from 6'9 Ville. Jerome said the car made a U-turn, and the next thing you know, he was shot. He would be shot in the head and the shoulder. Jerome later picked Willie out of a lineup at the hospital, but later recanted his statement. Robert Hudson was said to make a statement in the hospital, saying Lawrence, aka Lalo Denard, was the shooter, but he later recanted those statements, saying he never did because he was in critical condition and couldn't remember anything. But the police recorded his combos while in the hospital, and in the tape, he said Lawrence. Willie Torrance was driving his girlfriend's car in the crime, and was known in the area for driving the car. Just a month earlier, he was pulled over by the police driving it. Lawrence Lalo Denard was arrested, and phone was tracked being in the area when the shooting occurred. His text messages between him and Willie would acknowledge the police was onto them and what they did. Police would use their phones against them in court and their social media accounts, showing photos of them with guns, them throwing up their hood, and them showing respect to a lost member, promising revenge for his death. Willie Torrance was sentenced to 121 years to life. Lawrence Denard was sentenced to 137 years to life. This will conclude this episode. If you haven't already, check out my previous videos. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.